4 years ago today, Suzanne Morphew was believed to have gone on a Mother's Day bike ride when she vanished. Her bike and helmet were found near the $175 million Mayville, Colorado, home the 49-year-old shared with her husband Barry Morphew and their 2 daughters. She was nowhere to be found. Law enforcement and Suzanne's brother led extensive searches for her, but found nothing. Then in September 2023, came a shocking discovery when her remains were found 50 miles away in Saguache County. Her cause of death was homicide, the medical examiner recently ruled. On the 4th anniversary of the day Morphew was reported missing, questions about what happened and how still abound. The biggest question is, did her husband have anything to do with her disappearance and death? Here's what to know about the shocking case. When Suzanne vanished, Barry posted an emotional video online pleading for her safe return, along with the FBI tip line number and the promise of a $200,000 reward. Nearly a year later, on May 5, 2021, he was arrested and charged with murder after deliberation, tampering with physical evidence and attempting to influence a public servant. Court records showed. Still missing, Suzanne was presumed dead. He vehemently denied the allegations. In August 2021, now retired FBI agent John Grusing testified during a preliminary hearing that investigators found a tranquilizer cap in the dryer of the Morphews' home after Suzanne disappeared. In July 2021, prosecutors revealed that Suzanne texted Barry on May 6, 2020, and told him she was done and wanted to end the marriage. She had been having an affair with an old high school friend and was texting him the day before she was reported missing. Barry told authorities that the night before Suzanne went missing, they were eating steaks, having sex, and going to bed early, according to unsealed court documents. But that same night, Suzanne was texting the man police said she was having an affair with and told him at one point in a LinkedIn message, "You're the only real love I've known. The only love I want." When Barry got home on May 9, 2020, he began moving in a pattern around the outside of the house. Cell data records allegedly showed, Grusing testified. Barry was most likely chasing Suzanne around, Grusing alleged in an affidavit. Barry told authorities he was shooting chipmunks. His lawyers argued that cell phone data showed him traveling at a rate of 45 mph and could not have been on foot. That Sunday, when Suzanne was reported missing, Barry was on a business trip, where investigators claimed he made 5 trash runs. Barry pleaded not guilty to the charges, and in April 2022, authorities dropped the charges against him, the Colorado Judicial Department told at the time. However, a judge granted a request by prosecutors to dismiss the charges without prejudice, allowing prosecutors to file the charges against Barry at a later date. At a press conference afterward, Barry's attorney Iris Ayton blasted the prosecution, saying, "The prosecution was manufacturing a murder case. You've seen shows called Making a Murderer? That's what was happening here in this courtroom." They absolutely dismissed this case at this point because they knew they were going to lose this trial and Mr. Morphew was going to be acquitted and exonerated. Adding to the mystery, prosecutors said they found 3 unknown DNA matches on the glove compartment of Suzanne's vehicle. One was a partial match to an unknown male who was connected to sexual assault cases in other states. Barry's DNA was not part of that sample, his lawyers said. In May 2023, Barry filed a $15 million suit in federal court against multiple entities and officials, including Chaffee County, 11th Judicial District Attorney Linda Stanley, and Chaffee County Sheriff John Spezza, claiming they violated his constitutional rights. In September 2023, Suzanne's remains were found in Saguache County. In late April, the El Paso County Coroner's Office released her autopsy report saying she died by homicide, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation said in a statement. The report stated she was killed by undetermined means in the setting of butorphanol, azaparone, and medetomidine intoxication. The autopsy stated that the mix of drugs is marketed as a compounded immobilizer for wildlife, or an animal tranquilizer. One of Barry's lawyers reiterated that her client is innocent, saying the tranquilizer found in Suzanne's body was a very common animal tranquilizer. Now that Suzanne's death was ruled a homicide, prosecutors could potentially file charges against Barry again. Will animal tranquilizer found in Suzanne Morphew's body lead to refiled murder charges against husband? We will continue to follow the evidence and seek justice for Suzanne. Ann Kelly, District Attorney for the 12th Judicial District of Colorado, said in a statement. An attorney for Barry said Barry's tranquilizer gun was not working at the time of her disappearance. Death of missing mom Briana Winston. A Georgia man has been arrested on accusations he killed the mother of his child and burned her remains after she learned he had secretly married another woman, say authorities. During their investigation into the disappearance and death of Briana Winston, 23, of College Park, Gino, Clayton County Police unearthed alleged, intricate details that not even we were expecting to hear, Latina Ashanti Marbury said at a press conference Monday. Winston was reported missing at the beginning of April, when her worried family hadn't been able to reach her since mid-March, according to police. Her family became further concerned when they allegedly discovered that her apartment had been completely cleaned out by the father of her child and live-in boyfriend, Michelle Edwards, Clayton County Police said in a statement on April 26th. On Monday, police announced that they had arrested Edwards in connection with Winston's death after their investigation led them to Tennessee. In early May, detectives met with an unidentified man in Gates, 10, who agreed to speak to them in exchange for immunity, since he had allegedly helped Edwards dispose of Winston's body, Marbury said. Detectives learned that on the morning of March 17th, Edwards went to the apartment, where she confronted him after learning about his infidelity to her, Marbury alleged on Monday. They argued, and police allege he choked her, Marbury said. Edwards placed Winston's body into a suitcase and drove to the unidentified man's house in Gates, where they put her body into a burn barrel, doused it with accelerant and set it on fire, police allege. They burned it for hours until just skeletal remains were left, Marbury alleged. Then they used a shovel to break down Briana's bones in an attempt to speed up the burning process, she added. Edwards disposed of a portion of the remains along Interstate 40 in Tennessee, Marbury alleged. The other man dumped her remains in a cemetery behind a church, she alleged. On April 4th, investigators interviewed Edwards, who was arrested on a warrant for aggravated stalking for allegedly violating a protective order stemming from an alleged Oct. 2023 domestic violence incident involving Winston, Marbury said. Edwards is also charged with aggravated assault, malice murder, felony murder, and tampering with evidence. Marbury said the case turned into a family affair when Edwards allegedly looped everyone into this crime. On April 5th, investigators interviewed Edwards' wife, Briana Phillips Edwards, who was arrested on a warrant after allegedly providing false statements to police, Marbury said. We also learned in that interview on April 5th that she had secretly married Michael on Jan. 25, 2024, and that nobody was aware that the two were married, Marbury alleged. She is also accused of providing Edwards with a vehicle to take Winston's remains to Tennessee, Marbury said. Also arrested were Edwards' mother, Ebony Anderson, and his brother, Keelan Wright, on charges of conspiracy of tampering with evidence after they allegedly disposed of a pair of shoes and a pair of gloves Edwards asked them to burn during a recorded jailhouse call, Marbury said. Edwards is charged with malice murder because the crime took some forethought, Marbury allegedly. This was not a crime committed in the heat of passion. There was malice there. The option was to walk away, she continued. You have the option to walk away from arguments. Edwards remains held without bond at the Clayton County Jail. It is unclear whether he or the others have retained attorneys who can speak on their behalf. It's not clear if any of the defendants have entered pleas to the charges they face.